How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Blue Shifting and welcome back to Muv-Luv Monday, and hopefully this is actually being uploaded. If you're seeing this, it works! If you're not seeing this, then I'm crying to myself, so that's that. But hey, welcome back. Sorry we missed last week. In case you missed the update, I had a hard drive die. It lost a lot of data. I've had to restructure, build it from the ground up, so I took a week off just to catch my breath and kind of rebuild what I needed to get. Thankfully, there were some things I was able to save through various means. Mostly I have templates for some of my... I lost my templates, but I was able to recreate them by having comparable files from my old thumbnails I was able to easily get access to. Yeah, luckily, majority of the stuff that I had to remake was pretty straightforward. Matter of fact, the outro is probably the only thing I'm still working on that will be done by the time I publish this. I don't know if it's going to be super fancy or anything. It just might be a little different. But that's not the only thing we're going to have different today. We've got two things I want to talk about here. First off is what freaking happened last time. It was, oh my gosh, we tried to run as fast as we could with the Shogun, and she's not doing well. She's passed out. Now we had a huge debate about whether or not we should drug her and risk her potentially having a medical crisis on transit, or if we should just let her just withstand and see if she can survive the trauma of the constant jumping, leaping, and running. But before we could make any decision, we got completely surrounded. So now we're kind of screwed. We have an hour. I really don't know what's going to happen here. My prediction is that, knowing Maya and being her double, the Shogun's body double, I could see Maya sacrificing herself to try and allow her turns out her twin, to get away. And I really don't want that to happen. Worst is, what if I have to choose what happens? Oh, I hate that. Ooh, just thinking about it makes me sad. But we'll get to that depressingness in a second. I'm bringing it down a notch already. But the new thing I want to add, at the beginning of each episode, I'm going to start, well, sharing some of the things that I find the most exciting and most fun about making these videos, and that is hearing from you guys. You see, I get lots of good comments on my videos now. And I think it's best for me to start doing something I like to call a comment highlight. I'm going to pull up some random comment from the previous video, and I'm going to bring it out and just kind of share and talk about it. Either something that makes me think, or something I thought was really funny, or someone who brings up a good, excellent point. Just bring it up. Keep in mind, I'm not going to try and play favoritism here. I'm probably try and keep it diverse, but at the same time, we do see a consistent amount of people who consistently leave remarks, and so don't be mad or upset or anything. This is all just about trying to share something I thought was really cool that you guys put out. And frankly, there's always more cool stuff than just one comment. So I'm never going to be able to cover everything deeply, but we're going to start this off today. We're going to start off on a great foot. So first we're going to be doing a comment which I'll pop up here on the screen by I'm going to say it wrong, and I know I have to look, and it's so unprofessional to not have it memorized, but I'm going to mess it up. I mess up everything already. I'm going to even mess this up even though I'm trying really hard not to. But so it's from Luke Chastain, who says, "Man, these conversations are so painful. So many vivid perspectives, so many valid perspectives clashing at once. It's paralyzing. Very applicable to the real world, too. It really impressed me how the writers were able to critique their own country and culture through the lens of another. The long winter's not over yet." And so I love this comment because it was, honestly, it was the most succinct of all the comments, but everyone was saying pretty much the exact same thing. They're pointing out how one of the genius moments about this visual novel, and specifically the last two episodes, is how clear they can paint the problems and how all the shades of gray that we're dealing with right now, and just how insane it is to try and make right decisions when there's no good answers. And that's the hardest thing about leadership, I think, is because you have to make decisions in times like this, and you have to be able to live with them. And you have to understand that just because you could have done something better doesn't mean you were going to do something better. And it's painful to think about, but it's so true. I almost wonder how many people get in trouble, in military courts or civilian courts, for negligence or abandoning troops or making a blunder who probably in the situation, if like, and considering like the information they knew at the time and what they were handling and everything, like how often would we have actually been able to comprehend why they made the choices that they made? But in hindsight, we can see all the flaws that they may not have been aware of, and they often can get in trouble for that. It's really, that's one of the crappiest things about being a leader, is oftentimes you get in trouble for stuff that really was beyond your control, but you have to accept the punishment because you made the choice. And despite the fact that you were trying to do your best, if you messed it up, you gotta just answer for it, because someone has to. And that's something I don't think leaders nowadays tend to know, is they don't seem to realize that when they make a mistake, they need to be accountable to that mistake. Then they press forward. And they have to be willing to accept the fact that that despite their best efforts, they're not going to do a perfect job. But we have an expectation of perfection sometimes. So it can be tough. But anyway, so thank you, Luke. I love having your comments, so look forward to seeing more in the future. And if you want your comment to be in a future highlight, make sure to leave a good comment in the episode below. Remember, I'm going to be trying to pull from different things. Oftentimes, I'll probably be very influenced by the topics at hand. Because remember, we come here, we talk about things seriously. We take these stories seriously. We try and apply them to our lives and our understanding. So, but you know, just keep doing what you do. I love all the comments you guys make. And also, I'm hoping that I can hear from some of the people who are a little bit more silent, who I only get to see or hear from every once in a while. I'll be looking out for you guys. And for people who are new, I'd love to have an introduction quote. Like introduce yourself to me and leave a comment. And if I pick yours, it'd be a good way to introduce you to the rest of the community. So, without further ado, let's get back into this. So, let's go. It's been about 30 minutes since the Rebel transmission. Now the units surrounding us have moved a muscle. Assuming the markers they're intentionally transmitting to us aren't fakes, they do match up with what we saw on the radar as they came down in terms of numbers and positions. Are the rebels trying to prove they aren't looking for a fight by showing they've got nothing to hide? We're really up in a bugger's muddle now, aren't we? They proclaimed a ceasefire in the Shogun's name, and so far, they haven't gone back on their word. Under the circumstances, any Japanese person in the world would believe them without question. There's even a part of me that's tempted to believe it, as illogical as it is. The 2 years I spent in the previous timeline taught me just how important the Shogun is to this world's Japan. So I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to understand what drove the rebels to do this, even if Maya wasn't around to explain it to me. For the Japanese people of this world, Japan doesn't exist without the Shogun. That's why the rebel commander is ignoring modern combat procedure and coming to the front lines himself. Ugh. People who rebel for the sake of their country and their shogun wouldn't break a ceasefire proclaimed in Her Highness's name. That much I can believe. But the only way for Captain Sagiri and his followers to prove their rebellion is what? That's not right. To prove their rebellion was just is for the shogun to personally condone their actions. There should be a comma there. Well, maybe like legally there shouldn't be a comma there, but like for me there needs to be a comma there. And that's why they need to take the shogun from us. So then, why would they honor the ceasefire? Well, we've taken them to their word, which means they're pretty much sitting ducks. On top of that, we've disabled our active sensors, wireless transmissions, and satellite data links so they can't be traced to our position. In other words, we're basically blind. If their plan was to use Her Highness's name to trick us into letting our guard down, well, they've already succeeded. If they wanted to swoop right in and wipe us out, now would be the perfect time. Not that that's hard to believe that the rebels would deceive us and achieve their designs. I feel like that's why Major Walken got us cadets out patrolling. He can't completely discount that possibility. But so far, it looks like they're just going to keep on waiting it out, even after making the suicidal, dangerous flight down here to catch up with us. Okay, what the heck. If they uphold the ceasefire, then they'd only be doing it for honor or pride or something, right? There's no strategic benefit whatsoever. Except, you gotta remember the populace. The population, the people, are going to witness this. Through news and coverage, especially if they win and take the shogun, they get to really spin this off, comparing the noble rebels who held to their vows and kept the promises that they made, versus the UN and American-backed current establishment that used deceiving tactics to sneak the shogun out of the capital and let warfare erupt in the capital in order to try and get her away, despite the fact that she would never ever want that. Ooh, see how they could easily take the truth and just twist it right about. And they wouldn't have to change anything, really. They just have to put a positive spin from their perspective. That's why I think they're doing the ceasefire, honestly. It's all about image. It's all about showing the people what they would want them to see in order to help legitimize this coup, which is kind of brilliant and terrible. What's Captain Sagiri even trying to accomplish with this rebellion? Not that I don't understand the importance of honor and pride, but is this really what matters most right now? The captain's putting his life on the line to pull this off, even prioritizing it above interests of mankind as a whole. Shouldn't he be taking things a bit more seriously? Uh-oh. It's just the wind. Man, don't scare me like that. Ugh. Dang it. I'm not like them. That's right, I'm different. My objective is to prevent the fall of mankind. If I were in his shoes, I'd be prioritizing the end goal above everything else. That's my responsibility as someone who's witnessing the end of days. If the Japanese citizens of this world can't see through the bigger picture, then that just means I'll have to just do it for them. Ooh, that's a dangerous line of thought right there.
この人類滅亡の危機に極東防衛の要衝たる自覚もなく、無意味な内戦に突入し、貴重な戦力や時間を浪費している愚かな国家。それが君たちの国、日本だ。その幼稚でくだらない国のために、私の部下が命を落とすことは絶対に我慢ならん。
Man. Like Yoko Sensei and Tsukuyomi-san said, it's clear that America has some ulterior motives here. But at the same time, the Major's got a point. If he's got every right to say it, he's a surface pilot on the front lines, not some high-ranking politician sitting safely in the rear. There's not a single person in the world who wants to get killed in a fight like this. I have no doubt about that. From the Major's point of view, this incident must be frustrating on so many levels. He's been dragged into the middle of a rebellion instigated by indignant activists in a country that's on the front lines of the war against the Beta, and now he's surrounded by those same people and his life is in danger. His battalion saved our butts, and we've been telling him the mission takes a backseat to ensuring the Shogun's safety. And now, we're taking the enemy at their word without a second thought. When you look at it like that, I don't blame him for thinking Japanese people are irrational, or that we're a childish nation. I wouldn't define it as childishness. Clinging to your values is one of the most important things in a war. It's so easy to just lose your humanity in your defense of it. I don't know, but I feel that for any people, like maintaining traditions and beliefs of honor and respect and a belief of the right of people to be able to voice their thoughts and to be defended, like those are good things. But I just don't know if personally I can agree that the steps are necessary. It is a huge waste of manpower and resources, but they obviously have support from a large percentage of the military. And if that's the case, then I don't know, man. Like, might's not right. There should have been a better way to take care of this. But if they really had exhausted every other avenue, I could stand with the rebels. But I'm just not convinced that they did. I felt the same way about the Japanese people in this world before. Heck, I've even been pretty vocal about it. When the Major called this conflict childish, it honestly sounded like something I would say. It's probably because we're both outsiders here. The Major's an American, and I'm not from this world's Japan. But at the same time, it's not like I can condone America for acting on their own interests while condemning Japan for doing the same. I just don't have the same sense of Japanese patriotism that everyone here seems to have, and I don't know the historical context behind it either. But none of that even matters right now. For me, it isn't about political gain or who was wrong, who was right in some conflict that happened decades ago. All I want is to keep humanity from falling victim to the same fate twice. Exactly. That's why when Yuko-sensei brought up Mount Tengen, I had to choose between the fate of humanity and that old woman's wishes. The choice may have well been made for me. Not that I'd forgotten the things like she and Maya taught me back then, of course. If anything, I made the choice that I did in order to save not just that old woman, but everyone else as well. If I'm going to save as many lives as I can, then it's my responsibility to see Alternative 4 through to completion as soon as possible. Yet again, I don't know if he's going to think about this, but he technically caused this problem by telling Yoko-sensei to change things up on that mission and not allow him and Maya to get involved in that mountain slide and burial and all that stuff. Technically, like, while that was kind of foolish and kind of ridiculous, it probably would have made a fantastic story for the presses and would have uplifted the people and helped them feel like they're being listened to, but that there is a greater cause that they need to face. They lost an opportunity for a great PR victory, and that kind of might have set the stage for this. So why, then? Why am I feeling so conflicted all of a sudden, when I know the Major's objectively in the right? Why couldn't I do to the Shogun what I did to the old woman? Especially after how frustrated I've been wasting all the precious time on human infighting. I knew that the fastest way to get this thing over with was to bring the Shogun back to Yokohama base as soon as possible, and yet, couldn't obey the Major's order. I couldn't bring myself to sedate her. I don't even feel the same sense of devotion to the Shogun that these people have, so why couldn't I do it? Because she's Maya's twin? Because it would have put her in mortal danger? Could I have done it without question if I knew it wasn't life-threatening? Probably. When I saw the Shogun suffering like that, I couldn't make the same decision that I indirectly made for that old woman. At the time, I didn't even realize that it was completely against my usual stance on things like this. I panicked and I hesitated, and I was freaking out with no idea what to do. Meanwhile, Her Highness, a girl of my own age, was begging me to give her the meds, even though she knew they could kill her. All for the sake of American, the UN, and even the rebel surface pilots. Ugh. Dang it. I should have known what to do, but when it happened, my mind just went blank. Yeah, because, you know what? It's hard to make a choice in a stressful situation. Like, scientifically proven. You actually lose some of the activity in your frontal lobe because you're being focused on developing your fight-or-flight response, your instincts. That's why you drill in, like, boot camp or driving school or typing class. Like, anytime you're drilling constantly, it's to teach your brain to operate without having to think about it. Because as soon as you're in a high-stress situation, that adrenaline's pumping, you aren't really thinking clearly. Sure, you have cognitive ability. It's not to become like a dumb, like, brute with a stick. But you sacrifice a lot of that brain power in order to heighten your awareness, your senses, and your reaction times. It's a biological fact. So, yeah, it's really hard to make decisions like that on the fly, especially when you really feel like you need to think about it. But you have to. That's what's so important, and that's what a military leader needs to be able to do. They need to be able to make a response with the best like option, the most important option for the units as a whole and as the army as a whole, despite the fear, the pain, and the risk. God, what a mess. Why? That's why I'd be terrible for the military. Not just because my physical body would just not be up for the task, but for the fact that those types of decisions would eat me up inside. It'd be so hard. I'd like to think I could do it, and given like the chance and the need, I know I could try, but could I do good? I don't think any of us could ever know until we're in that point, when we're in that critical mass where we have to make a rash decision and don't have enough information to make a clear one. I was too afraid to do it with my own two hands. Ooh, this is very similar to the parable, I guess I would call it, of the minecart. I don't know if you ever heard this. It's like, you find yourself in a control room in a mine shaft, and you can hear a fully laden minecart speeding down the track. It's traveling so fast, it'll kill anybody who's left on the track. Currently, the track is aimed, and it's got 5 people standing on the track. They're in the way. They will all die if the cart is allowed to crash into them. There's no way for them to get off the track in time. There's an alternative path that you can activate a lever. You're pulling the lever, you will make the track shift over away from the 5, but you know there's somebody else on the track. Just one person on that alternative path. Do you pull the lever? Decision's a little harder because it's you. You have to physically do an action that dooms somebody else. Because if you do nothing, the 5 die, but it's an accident. You could not stop the trolley. You could not do anything, so they die. But if you pull the lever, you're condemning that other person to death. Not because, like, you pushed the cart down, but you decided that their life wasn't worth as much as those other 5. But at the same time, logically, especially with Takeru saying, like, the bigger picture, it's like, well, of course, I'll pull the lever. But then you change it. It's like, what if the person who's on the track isn't just a random stranger, but what if it's a best friend? What if it's Maya? What if Maya's standing on that track by herself? And there's 5 strangers who you don't know, you'll never meet again. You'll never know anything about them. Could you kill Maya, the one you care about, because you know that one life isn't worth as much as 5? Could you do that? And you could replace it with Maya, you could replace it with Tama, you could replace it with freaking Yoko Sensei, you could replace it with your mom, your sister, your brother, your child. It changes that answer so much. Because, for instance, while I know 5 people are worth more than 1, if it were my son on that track, I couldn't do it. There's no way. Heck, if it were reversed, and if he was on the track by himself, and I pulled the lever and I'd kill 5 strangers, I'm pretty sure I'd pull that lever. Because it's so different. If you were sitting back in a bunker, getting the drugs into the girl, absolutely. Takeru would be 110% behind that. He'd be like, just do it. Just do it. You've got to get out of there. Some chance is better than no chance. But when he's there with her practically in his arms, desperately begging him to not think about her safety, but to try and save everyone else, knowing how wonderful of a person she is, and he has to administer the drug that could kill her, of course it's hard. Of course it's a difficult decision, dang it. Oh, man. Is it just because I have no combat experience? No. This can't be it. The world's been fighting against the beta for ages. I doubt that Tsukuyomi-san or Marimo-chan, or even the Major have any experience fighting other people. How many veterans from these kinds of wars are even still alive? So what is it? Is there something other than combat experience I'm missing here? Is there something even bigger that I lack? The trouble is, this is another reason why military leaders often stay behind. Because when it comes to big scale, big picture stuff, it's a lot easier to sacrifice a troop of soldiers to save 5 companies of soldiers than if you were in the squad ordering your friends to die to save the rest of the army. You need someone who can be cold and calculating in charge of the big picture. Because you can't afford to have the bleeding heart for everybody, because if you can, you would stop the war and give up. Because you'd be frozen every time you had to make that tough choice. Oh gosh, I don't like this. What the heck could it be?
私も国連職員である前に一人の日本人として日本主導のオルタネイティブ4を完遂させたいのですよ。
確かに事務次官の言葉に嘘はないと思いますわ。あの方なりに人類全体のことを思い、信念に基づいてその責務を果たしていらっしゃるのでしょう。
たとえそれが将軍家ゆかりのものだろうが、首相の娘であろうが、実の娘であったとしても、犠牲はいといませんよ。
How can they do it?
その犠牲を最大限に生かす方法とタイミングは十分心得ているつもりだよ。私も光月博士も。
Oh man. Conviction and patriotism? Is that really all it comes down to? How in the heck can that be? There's no way that's all it is. I've got plenty of conviction. Sure, I wasn't born and raised here, but still. I'm determined to save humanity at all costs. Is that not good enough? Well, are you sure about that? Like, you don't know what the cost could be. He's saying all costs is in general sense. I don't think he's taking into account his personal sacrifices. Okay, I'm from another world, but that shouldn't stop me from making tough calls when it's needed to. Dang it! Have all the tragedies I've experienced only made me weaker as a result?
人類を救うっていうあんたの決意、 自分で思っているほど固くないんじゃないの？
Man. Yoko sensei saw right through me. Dang it. It's because I don't get it. I just can't wrap my head around it. How am I supposed to give someone the benefit of the doubt on the basis of a moral code I can't possibly comprehend? They're positive that Captain Sagiri won't ambush us because it would go against everything they hold sacred. And here I am, shaking in my boots, all because I lack the same conviction. It's like how a blind man could never imagine what the color red looks like. I can't understand that kind of conviction because I've never had it before. Dang it. Ah! Dang it, gosh darn it! I want to be stronger than this! Arrgh. Poor Takeru, man. There's just too many things happening all at once. I just don't know what to do. I'm definitely nervous about my first battle. True. But thanks to all the psychological training, I'm not terribly afraid of dying. Thank goodness for that, at least. But if I had a real pillar of strength to fall back on, would I even feel conflicted about any of this? Maybe if I had more conviction, might have more steadfast in my beliefs. It doesn't matter. I still have to see Alternative 4 through to completion, no matter the cost. There's not much time left. We can't afford to wait for me to man up. At least I've managed to figure out what's been bugging me all this time. This has to be a step in the right direction. Well, now we gotta survive! I don't know whether I can learn to have stronger convictions, but for now, all I can do is try. Now's not the time to get lost in thought. If we can't get past the enemy's blockade, none of this will even matter. For now, I think I need to focus on getting everyone through this safe and sound. Uh-oh. Right, this isn't just about me. Everyone here has some kind of baggage that connects them to this situation. Both as UN surface pilots, and as Japanese citizens. Not to mention as family members of those involved. During the briefing we just had, I was so preoccupied with the enemy's encirclement and my own internal conflict that I didn't even look around to see how the others were doing. They've got to be stressed about facing their first battle, and all the more since we're surrounded by the enemy when it seems like we'd made a clean getaway. Oh man, think of Yamane. If she's not actively working with them, which I really don't think she is, she would break my heart if that were true. I think my heart would shatter and I would just curl up into a ball and die. But she does have to realize that her former, adopted brother, champion of her father, and potentially someone she was willing to marry, is now sitting in a mech, aiming a platoon's worth of guns at her head. And I doubt he even knows she's here. What would you do? What would I do? I don't know. Maya's feelings conflicted because of her feelings for Her Highness and her sympathy towards the rebel cause. Tama's torn between her Japanese roots and her father's position in the UN. Same goes for Makoto. If she knows what her dad's really been up to, this can't be easy on her either. But now that Captain Sagiri has shown his face on the battlefield, oh, I forgot about that too. I can only imagine what Class Rep and Yamane are going through right now. Freaking, he murdered her father on television. Good grief. Oh man. And yet, everyone's still giving their all. Oh gosh. Maybe I should go see if anyone needs someone to vent to. Though I'd probably be the one doing most of the venting. Oh no, I have to choose! Oh, fetch! Oh! Oh no. Oh no, I doubt I have time to talk to all of them. So, fetch, man. Oh! This is like the first choice I think I've had the entire game, and it's here. It's freaking here. Okay. 3 thoughts I'm having here, okay? Who do I want to talk to? Man. I really have a bad feeling about this. I really need to know what she's thinking. Because of what I think's coming. Who needs me to talk to them the most? Clash Rep and Yamane. Absolutely, hands down, both of them. They both need someone to talk to right now. Class Rep is probably, torn between wanting to literally go out and kill Sagiri and trying to do her duty. Yamane, I don't even know, man. I need to know. I need to know if she's okay and not, betraying us. She can't be betraying us. She's not going to betray us. So, in Muv-Luv tradition, as much as I'm sure it's a bad idea, I'm going to follow my heart, as always. Maya, Maya, we really need to talk. Because I need help, and you need help, and we need to work together on this. Hmm? Where'd Maya go? I don't see her anywhere. That's strange. I'm pretty sure this is the area she was assigned to during the briefing. Uh-oh. We've all disabled our ID markers so the enemy can't track our location. If she's on the move, I'm not going to be able to... It's not going to be easy to find her. Oh man, I really hope she's not actually patrolling the area. She wanted us to get some rest so we wouldn't slow the whole group down later. I figured she'd be beside herself with worry for Her Highness, but I guess she's decided to focus on carrying out her orders. Classic Maya, really. She can never neglect her patrol duties when Her Highness's safety is at stake, even if that duty was just an excuse to let us get some rest. Though in her case, she'd probably rather stay busy than just be left on our own thoughts. Oh no! I can't, like... So I get to choose again. It's red, though. What does that mean? Can I choose that again and keep looking for her? Oh no. I kind of want to try. It's probably a bad idea because it's red. Because here's what I think she's doing. How much you want to bet? I also put money down on this right now. How much you want to bet that she's gone, she's talked with Tsukiyomi-san or somebody, she's traded clothing with her sister, and she's gone out to surrender herself, offering herself as the shogun in exchange for us to be allowed to proceed to Yokohama base. And before they realize the switcheroos occurred, the shogun's safe. Okay, I'm going to save, because I really don't want to screw this up too badly by experimenting. I know it's cheating, but screw it. Okay, it won't let me choose. Okay, so, never mind. Alright, if I'm going to pick the next person I want to talk to, honestly, I really feel for Class Rep. But I really think Ayamane is the one I not only needs the most comfort, but also I need to hear from her that she's not involved in this. Hey. Yamane, it's just me. Sure, okay, don't shoot, alright? Yeah, I know. Yikes, she does not look happy to see me. Hi. Can't blame her, though. I know all about her connections just happened to Sagiri, so that makes sense that she'd be on her guard. It'd be awkward not to bring him up and all, but I've got to make sure she doesn't think that that's all I came here to talk about. I don't want to make this any harder on her than it already is. Man, even though we've just been on the run this entire time, I've got to say, real combat's a bitch. I feel like this is exhaustion, the physical part anyway. Didn't really hit me till we disembarked from our TSFs, you know? What about you? How are you holding up? You doing okay?
余裕あるね。
No, I'm freaking not. What? Unfazed? Me?
殿下は
Oh, right. Yamane is a Japanese citizen like everyone else. Makes sense that she'd want to know. She has an acute motion sickness. Not really a surprise after getting tossed around inside the TSF without a fortified suit.
どういうこと？ブリーフィングでは伏せられてた。
It seems odd that they would evacuate the capital and not get her a fortified suit, because that would have provided protection regardless of whether she was in the TSF or not. Seems a bit of an oversight. Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be classified technically, but I figured it'd be better for me just to clue you guys in.
今はどうなの？
She still seems to be in pain, but her condition is stabilized at least.
そう。
We can't expect her to recover in just an hour. The operation's only going to get tougher from here on out.
そうだね。
I know, right? It feels a little weird that even Yamane is so concerned about the Shogun's well-being. Given how worried she seems, you might even think they were close friends or relatives, even though they've never even met each other. Never seen Yamane act like this. Not in her day-to-day life or even in her previous timeline. Not as far as I can remember, anyway. Is that kind of devotion to the Shogun what I'm missing, maybe?
行かないの？
Huh?
殿下のところ。
Well, no? Oh, right. Lieutenant Kamiyo is of the Royal Guard is watching over her right now. And it's not really my place to be taking care of Her Highness anyway.
だからブラブラしてるんだ。
I mean, partially. Though it's more just I can't seem to calm down from the adrenaline rush of a real battle. Well, it's true that I didn't want to come. I did want to come check up on the Yamane. I also just really want someone to vent to, though I obviously can't tell her that.
ほんと、余裕あるね。
No, you keep using that word, but I am really not sure what you mean by that.
他人を構う余裕、私にはない。
Huh?
だけど、あの人が来ても、私は大丈夫だから。
What? No, I wasn't implying that.
私のことはほっといて。
Yamane? Well, that failed spectacularly. Maybe I should just tell that. Maybe she could tell I was tiptoeing around the subject of Captain Sagiri. Wait up, Yamane. Look, I really wasn't trying to corner you, alright? It's just that, well, you know.
ごめん。本当に疲れてるから、休ませて。
Yeah, that wasn't a good way to try and broach the subject. Okay. That's a crazy thing to hear coming from Yamane, whether she's lying or not. Actually, no. I'm sure it's the truth. This is her first battle, so she's already feeling the pressure. Tack on an escort mission with the enemy in hot pursuit, plus the stuff with Captain Sagiri and Class Rep. Who wouldn't be a little overwhelmed? Yamane's almost never lets her feelings show, but look at her now. She's so exhausted that she can't even keep up with her nonchalant front. Oh, right. I almost forgot, but before a second back there, I thought maybe Yamane had something to do with the rebels predicting our every move. Even though I swore I'd trust her. Yamane, I owe you an apology.
もういい。早く行って。
No, hear me out. This is about something else. After we left Hakone, I and the rebel forces seemed to be constantly two-stepping ahead of us. For a split second, I suspected that you might have been leaking intel to them.
そう。
Sorry. I know I promised you I would trust you.
確かめに来たんだ。
I can see why you'd think that, but no. That's not why I'm here. In all honesty, I was just looking for someone to vent to. Then while I was talking to you, I remembered that I felt like I needed to apologize for it.
正直なのはいいこと。
Yeah.
だけど、こっちもいろいろある。
Yeah. Freaking, I know.
そんなこと、今聞きたくない。
I get it. Crap, I just apologized out of habit, but she's absolutely right. Yeah, my bad. Just wasn't a good time to bring that up. I didn't even consider what she must be going through right now. I only apologized because I figured it would make me feel better. Wow, yeah, that's a good point, man.
白金も疲れてるね。休んだ方がいい。
I'm sorry. There's something I can say to make it better.
もういいでしょ。休ませて。
Okay. This sucks, man. Yeah, well, I think we suck. Alright, class rep. Let's do the dance. Class rep, I'm heading your way, so don't shoot.
白金、何やってるのよ。
Oh, man. Well, this is our first actual battle. I'm really on edge. Figured I'd take a walk, try and clear my head.
そう。
She seems pretty tired. Even though we're on our break, we're still technically supposed to be on patrol, but she isn't even nagging me about straying from my post. Of course, we had to rush all the way out here right after what happened to her dad, and now we're surrounded by enemies. I can't really say I blame her. You doing alright? It seems like you're pretty worn down.
さっき栄養剤と興奮剤を打ったわ。
Not really. Anyway, nutrients are all well and good, but don't overdo it on the stimulants.
殿下のご様子は？
Well, she's got acute motion sickness.
え？
Doesn't help that she's probably been stressed and sleep deprived since this whole mess started. I don't think a little nap's gonna do her that much good.
ごめんなさい。聞いちゃいけない情報だったわ。
I freaking don't care. Oh, right, the briefing. They didn't get into the details about the Shogun's condition at all. Maybe it was supposed to be classified? Oh well. Hey, so get this. Her Highness told me that she had TSF piloting experience. Did you know that? She said that she had about 96 hours of flight time. That's way more than even we have.
殿下は軍の最高司令官なんだから、英式教練くらい当たり前でしょ。
Crap, really? Is it common knowledge that the Shogun undergoes pilot training? I guess that's sort of like the way new nobles used to master horseback riding and swordsmanship. Well, yeah, obviously, but even then, most people couldn't last that long without a fortified suit. She really is something else.
そうね。
Her voice is completely monotone, and her expression weirdly stiff. I also just realized how, remember my prediction about Maya? Like, she's really something else. She's really someone else. Gosh darn it. Class reps usually pretty concerned about keeping up appearances, but I guess she just doesn't have the energy to care right now.
で、何か話があるんじゃないの?
Oh, nah, not really. Sure as heck can't tell her that I was looking for someone to vent to. She'd just laugh at me.
今のところ、私は大丈夫よ。
Yeah,
こんな状況でも、
freaking...
結構冷静だし。
He's out there. The murderer of your dad is like a mile away. It sucks. Okay, if you say so. She says, despite being so exhausted, she's relying on stimulants. Gotta keep that tough girl facade, I guess. Being constantly on the run from the enemy like this will take its toll on anybody, though especially since our first battle, and that's not even to mention what happened to her dad. I remember being pretty nervous during my first mission, too. We were just on guard duty around the base, but all the tension definitely wore me out after a while.
何よ。そうは見えないって顔ね。
Well, it's because you're human. No, it's not like that. I'm just exhausted, too. That's all. Even when I try to smile, it just doesn't happen, because I'm not doing it so hot either.
あなたが来た理由、当ててみましょうか。
Oh boy. Why do I feel a lecture? Huh? What do you mean?
親の仇を目の前にして、いつ私が暴走するとも限らない。だから釘を刺しに来た。
No, I didn't think you'd go berserk. I just figured you're probably feeling some very intense emotions. Wow, that's how she interpreted this? Guess I can't blame her, though. Considering the stuff I said before we left and the timing of it all, it's not hard to see how she jumped to that conclusion. Wrong. Try again.
間があったわ。
Give me a break. I said I was tired, didn't I?
じゃあ、何しに来たの?
I mean, no particular reason. Just felt like it. Oh, I'm so stupid! Didn't come out here to argue.
なら、放っておいてちょうだい。
Great. Takeru's not great at this. Alright, Siege, don't get so angry. I mean, we're out here in the middle of the woods. Might as well have a good stretch. Take a couple of deep breaths.
おせっかいもいい加減にして。
No, please. I was telling you what to do.
放っておいてって言ったでしょ。私は大丈夫だって言ってるじゃないの。
Would you calm down? Get a hold of yourself.
いいわよ。もう。
Well, that went well. Better leave it at that. I don't know if it's just exhaustion talking or if she took too many stimulants, but Class Search clearly can't control her emotions right now. I wonder why. God, Takeru, you're an idiot. Trying to continue this conversation won't do either of us any good. My bad. I'll get out of your hair. Sorry. Sometimes I need to see my squad mates to give myself a little reassurance. See what else we could screw up, right? Good grief. Oh, Tama, where are you? I just need your love.
訓練兵を出撃させるなんて、極東国連軍の人手不足は相当深刻ね。
Who is talking right now? Whose voice is that?
あなたも災難だったわね。
Someone came forward. Oh my gosh. That's Tama's voice. Who's she talking to? Ah!
私もね、
Oh,
まさか
okay.
人間
US
相手の
pilot.
作戦に駆り出されるなんて思ってもみなかったわ。
Aw, that's kinda cool.
日本には一度来てみたいと思ってたんだけど、こんな形でそれが叶うなんてね。
Yeah, this would not be the way I'd want to visit Japan either. Armed, like assault and like defense. That'd be terrifying.
はい。
Oh, it's an American surface pilot. I see. So the Americans are taking breaks as well.
すみません、少尉。こんなことになっちゃって。
え？
今は人間同士で戦っている場合じゃないのに。
No, Tama, you're exactly right.
どういうこと？どうしてあなたが謝るの？
その。
Guess she must feel particularly responsible because she's Japanese and she suspects her dad was the one who got the U.S. military involved, even though she doesn't know for sure. This incident is putting everyone in the 207th flight in an awkward position between the UN and Imperial forces, where ragtag band of cadets, Royal Guards, and U.S. soldiers caught up in a conflict between the UN, Japan, and America. Being surrounded by so many conflicting viewpoints, it's tough. I'm sure even the more stressful for Tama, given her father's part in all this.
もしかして、あなたは日本人?
Wouldn't you be able to tell?
そうです。少尉。
Well, maybe not. We're part of the UN, and we're wearing suits, so...
なるほど。そういうことか。じゃあ、ナオのことつらいか。同胞に銃を向けるんだからね。
任務ですから。
そう。
Anytime this music cues in, I just can't... It's just... Oh, no. I'm really impressed with how mature that U.S. soldier is being about all this. Sure, the American government's got ulterior motives, but these pilots never asked to be dragged into this pretty petty rebellion. They've already lost comrades in the fighting. You'd think they'd be about ready to take a swing at us by now, or at least mutter a few nasty words in our direction. Yet, this one's actually comforting, Tama.
私ね、フィンランド人なの。
She's from Finland. She's not even American. From Finland? She's not American, but she enlisted in the U.S. Army? How does that work? America hasn't suffered a lot of casualties, so women haven't been affected by the draft. Heck, I don't even think they lowered the drafting age, plus she's a foreigner. Well, I imagine, didn't Europe get hammered pretty good by the beta? Like, maybe they all fled to America. It kind of makes sense.
戦災難民なのよ。ほら、私の国、もうなくなっちゃったから。
Dang.
私、なんて言ったらいいか。
At least you have people to fight for, maybe?
別にいいのよ。気にしないで。
Now I remember. In this world, all of Europe was completely wiped out by 7 or 8 years ago, with the exception of the British Isles.
でも、どうして、フィンランド人のあなたが、アメリカ軍にいるんですか？
そうね。理由は2つあって、まず、アメリカの市民権を取得するためね。
Man, she's from Finland, moved to America, and speaks Japanese. Very impressive.
市民権。
そう。戦災難民が市民権を得るには、軍に入って除隊まで勤め上げるしか方法がないのよ。
This is actually true to this day. I don't think it's the only way, but in wartime it would make sense that it would be pretty much the primary way. But even to this day, like, if you are a refugee or an immigrant, or even honestly, like, from what I understand, even a legal immigrant, you can register to be part of the military, and if you're accepted, it is pretty much the fast track to getting a green card and eventual citizenship. Because, like, fighting in the military of a country is one of the best ways to declare your, like, your desire for the welfare of that nation. I'm not entirely sure about the illegal immigrant option, but, like, I swear I've known people whose families had to come across the border in suspicious ways, but who genuinely wanted to become citizens, and that was the fastest way they could do it.
だから、今回派遣されている部隊のほとんどの人間が、私と同じ戦災難民からの志願兵。お偉いさん方を除いてね。
Wow, that's crazy. The U.S. is almost like a little UN. Wait a second, so all the military forces sent here, the only actual Americans are Major Walken and the other higher-ups? Maybe I'm just being naive here, but I'm struggling to wrap my head around the thought of sending a whole unit of foreign refugees straight to the front lines. Well, I mean, if you're gonna be racist and, like, super patriotic, it makes sense. It's stupid, but it makes sense. I know it's not my place to judge, but is U.S. citizenship really worth risking your life for? Even knowing they sent you out here to keep America off the front lines?
あの地獄。ヨーロッパから生きて逃げ出せただけでも、随分贅沢なことなんだけど、私が市民権を取れば、家族を難民キャンプから出してあげられるからね。
Oh, that's awesome. So that's it. You know, it'd be really cool, like a good thing would be like if she were to fall in combat, if they would also gain citizenship that way. That would be cool, but I have a feeling it's not that way. America may be mostly unharmed by all of this, but even though they don't have the resources to give all the refugees the same quality of life as their actual citizens. Captain Sagiri talked about how awful the refugee camps in Japan were during his broadcast. I'd imagine American camps aren't much different. So that's what she needs citizenship for, huh? Makes sense.
ということは、ご家族は無事だったんですね。
母と妹はね。父は国軍に志願して北カレリア戦線で行方不明。多分もう死んじゃってると思うけど。
No.
すみません。私余計なことを。
もう今時珍しい話じゃないんだから、いちいち気にしないの。家族4人のうち3人助かったなんて奇跡よ。
ごめんなさい。
She's such a warm personality and a happy like disposition, considering how awful her life's been. Dang.
でね、入隊のもう一つの理由がそれ。
それ？
敵討ちってわけじゃないけど、父がそうしたように私もベータと戦って家族を守りたい。
And you're here killing humans. Gosh darn it.
お父さんと同じ。
それでいつかあいつらをヨーロッパから追い出して祖国を再建するの。父が命がけで守ろうとしたフィンランドを。
Dang.
でね、私たちの家があった場所に父のお墓を建てて、そのそばで家族一緒に暮らしたいの。ところで、あなたの家族は無事なの？
はい。パパと2人です。ママは私が小さい頃病気で死んじゃいました。
そう。お気の毒に。
いえ、私は最後までママのそばにいることができましたから、少尉に比べれば贅沢なことです。
また。さっきから気にしないでって言ってるのに。もしかしてそれ、日本人特有のリアクション？
Probably.
すみません。
Wow, I didn't know that. Tama's mom died from an illness, huh? No wonder her father's so doting.
私、イルマテスレフ。あなたは？
玉瀬美希。ミキ玉瀬です。
ミキか。こんなこと言ったら失礼だけど、フィンランドだと男の子に間違えられる名前ね。
That's funny.
男の子ですか？なんか複雑ですね。
ねえミッキー、いつか人類がベータに勝って私の国が再建されたら、お父さんと一緒にフィンランドにいらっしゃい。私が招待するから。
That's so cute. I think that means she's gonna die. Gosh darn it.
本当ですか？私絶対行きます。でもフィンランドってすごく遠いですよね。
確かに遠いけど、ソビエトを挟んで一つ隣じゃない。日本に一番近いヨーロッパなのよ。
Russia's the only thing between us. It's just 11 time zones.
そうだったんですか？日本のことまで知ってるなんて。イルマ少尉すごいです。
宿敵だったロシアを負かしたことのある唯一の国だから、多くのフィンランド人は日本に親近感と興味を持っているの。
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that's true, like today. Anyone from Finland here? If you're from Finland and you're watching, I'd love to know, like, do you feel a sense of kinship with Japan for like maybe lasting feelings from after the wars? I doubt it. Like, it seems like it'd be such a long time stance, but like, once again, I've noticed people from Finland and Norway popping up in anime fairly regularly too. Is that just is it just common for them to visit and to interact with Japan and vice versa? I don't know. Like, is there like a distinction there, or is this just kind of like a flavor text for this scene?
それに、お互い第二次世界大戦の敗戦国だしね。
ミキはフィンランドのことはあまり知らないので恥ずかしいです。
だからこそミキには来てほしいのよ。いい？約束よ。
はい、わかりました。
だから早く終わらせようね。人間同士の戦いもベータとの戦いも。
Exactly.
その時までお互い絶対死なない。いい？
Dang.
よし。じゃあ行くね。そろそろ交代の時間だから。
はい。少尉、お話できて楽しかったです。ありがとうございました。
This lieutenant is far better at this powwow and rejuvenate section than Takeru has been, by far.
私もよ。約束忘れないでね。
She joined the foreign military in the hopes of retaking her homeland and rescuing her family. That's what she put her life on the line for. In a way, that's almost like her personal pillar of strength, just like how the Japanese find strength in the shogun. Huh. Man, it's like I can't get away from that concept.
あれ、タケルさん、
We're caught. Ha!
どうしたの？
I was just wandering around trying to clear my head, and I heard your voice, so...
もしかしてずっと見てたの？
I think I came part way through, but I didn't really feel right interrupting either. Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop.
別に謝ることじゃないですよ。
She seemed like a really great person. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but it seems like the American Army has all sorts of people in it too, huh? After everything that's happened, couldn't help feeling some animosity towards the American forces, but the individual pilots on the front lines aren't any different from you and me. If nothing else, she was at least talking to Tama as a sympathetic, considerate human being, not as a superior officer. What? Oh, fetch. Oh no, she's thinking about the other soldiers that were killed. Well, Tama, what's the matter? Oh, hugs. Give her a hug. Give her a hug right now. You can't let her cry and not give her a hug. Hey!
自分の命も危ないのに、私のこと気遣って励ましてくれて。
Yeah.
自分の国がなくなっちゃって、家族や死んじゃったお父さんのために戦ってるのに、フィンランドを取り戻すために戦ってるのに、なのに私のパパがあの人たちを巻き込んじゃったのかもしれないんだよ。
Oh gosh. Tama.
パパはいつも言ってた。日本を守るためには
Her dad said that to her? But that's true. But that's true, isn't it? Just in terms of firepower, we're way better off with America's help. Especially in circumstances like this. If the Beta choose to move south today, they could completely obliterate the Far East defensive line. Oh, this is not what she needs to hear right now. Even if you're right, doesn't that just go to show that he's trying really hard to save Japan and the world as a whole? Besides, the Americans deploying their fleet out here was as if they knew this was going to happen. They probably planned on intervening no matter what. Once again, Takeru, you're not... You need to listen! And you need to just be there. You don't need to just blast her with, like, information about why, like, she shouldn't feel sad. God, it's the worst thing you should ever do. Like, if there's anyone crying in front of you, girl or guy, I don't care who it is, if they're crying in front of you, they likely don't need to hear a bullet list of why they shouldn't be crying. That's the last thing they need. Back in the command center, the Undersecretary was trying to get the U.S. military brought into Yokohama base as soon as possible. And ultimately, he got his wish. But still, even Yoko-sensei acknowledged that he was only acting with Japan and Alternative 4's best interest in mind. Too bad I can't tell Tama about any of that.
タケルさん、私、怖い。
Huh?
もしかしたらこのクーデターもアメリカ軍を引き入れるためにパパが。
Ooh. I really don't want to believe that.
脚本を用意したのはおそらく国連上層部のオルタネイティブ5推進派と CIA でしょう。
Oh gosh, maybe it is. I didn't put it together before, but she's right. That's absolutely possible. If Chizugoro is to be believed, then Tama's dad might just be one of the UN higher-ups he was referring to. Then Undersecretary Tamase's actions are effectively interfering with Alternative 4, aren't they? But that would also mean he's collaborating with the Alternative 5 supporters. Didn't he say he wanted to see Alternative 4 to completion? There's just no way he'd just... No, you can't think about that right now. Huh? I absolutely underestimated how much stress she's under. Stop it, that's enough. Even if any of that were true, he only would have done it to means of interest of increasing Japan's humanity's chance of survival. I'm just blowing smoke here. That's actually what she's going to go for. He's an idiot. Besides, that's all just speculation, right? I mean, I can't exactly say it's baseless, to be honest. But whatever, that's not what she needs to hear right now. This whole situation is really stressful. So you're probably just overthinking things and getting stressed out over nothing. No, freaking give her a hug and say it'll be okay. I mean, it's our first mission, and we've been chased all over the place by loads of enemies, and now they've got us surrounded. Anybody would be stressing out about this. But you don't pull yourself together, you could literally die out here. That's not... Oh my gosh. Takeru, come here. Come here. I need to teach you a lesson about freaking feelings. God, he's an idiot. And if you go down, if any one of us gets killed, the entire squad could be wiped out. Don't you... I'm going to strangle him myself. I will take my fist and sink it into his nose until it's no longer there. Gosh, darn it, Takeru, you're an idiot. Didn't you just make a promise to that pilot? You've got to survive until we're beating the beta so you can go to Finland, right? Seriously, stupid idiot. If you ever wanted that to happen, you need to focus on getting through this mission. We can worry about the rest after we make it back home safely, okay? Doesn't look like I did much to boost her confidence. There's nothing else to be said, not from me anyhow, because you're a freaking idiot. My convictions aren't strong enough for me to preach to Tama. I don't know how I feel about all this any more than she does. I should probably go. Sorry, I'm really tired myself. So that probably didn't come out right. That second lieutenant sure was something, and I don't think it was just a matter of her having more experience either. I'm pretty darn pathetic in comparison, aren't I? I'm gonna get going. Let's make it out of this alive, okay? Fetch, man, we are just a whirlwind of pain to everyone. Okay, so we're already sitting at a long episode here. I honestly was planning and hoping that we would get through this part and we would see the conclusion. I think we're going to have to wait, though. I'm going to talk to Makoto, and then when everything else starts kicking off, inevitably right after that, we're going to pause right there, and we're going to have to push on for next week. Gosh darn it. Maybe I should talk to Makoto. Makoto should be the least affected by this out of our whole squad. No, that's not true. But that's assuming she doesn't know what her dad really does. In reality, she might be under just as much pressure as everyone else. We're going to hit a trap, aren't we? What's bugging me is how withdrawn she's been since the uprising began. I would like to think that she's trying to be considerate of everyone else, and that she's worried about her father in the capital. Oh my gosh. No, that's too crazy. Because remember, it did seem like someone was possibly leaking information. What if Makoto's dad, being the psychopathic, double-sided, twisted knot that he is, has a motive for somehow wanting this mission to fail for some reason or another? And what if he instructed Makoto, or somehow is using Makoto, and then relaying signals through... Like, oh, that would suck.
Takeru! Kochi!
Gotta admit, that's not what I was expecting. It's really nice to see you still acting this way, even under these circumstances. But you seem a little too perky right now. How many antidepressants did you take?
そうかな。いつも通りだと思うけど。
Yeah, that's what concerns me.
タケルは元気ないね。疲れてる？
Understatement of the year. I'm exhausted, dude. And seeing this upbeat only makes it 10 times worse.
ひどいな。普通、僕の元気な姿を見て、俺も元気づけられたよ。
If this goes
Sorry.
If this goes the way I think it's gonna go, I may never smile again. No. Actually, a lunatic would say that in this situation. This is a time and place. There's a time and place. This isn't it. Oh, well, there goes the facade.
何？どうしたの？ TPO がどうしたって？
Oh, it's an act. Are you sure you're not just pretending to be okay?
そんなことないよ。そりゃ疲れてないと言ったら嘘になるけどさ。
You know what? Why didn't you just give a hug to everybody? Everyone needs a hug right now. There's nothing wrong with trying to force a smile on your face. In fact, I really admire that about you, but right now, you'd be better off just letting it all out. Don't feel like you have to be happy just because I'm around. That defeats the whole purpose of taking a break.
無理はしてないよ。
Really? Alright, guess I'll head back then.
もう行っちゃうの？
I don't want to keep you from resting, so I'll see you later. Thought so.
せっかくだからさ、もう少し話そうよ。
As long as you promise you're not gonna keep forcing a smile.
わかった。
Well, good. I really don't have the energy to be reading between the lines right now. So it'll be easier on both of us if you just be straight with me.
ごめん。ほら、タケルはさ、天下を乗せてるでしょ？だから僕たちより責任が大きい分疲れてると思ってさ。
I was considerate of you, but don't trust me. Well, I have another person's life in my hands. I can't really allow myself to think about fatigue right now. You know, I've got to stay alive to ensure Her Highness's safety.
なるほど。そう言われればそうかもね。
But here's the thing. You guys are all going through a lot of crap right now. I think we're all just kind of struggling. I appreciate you worrying about me, but I think you guys are probably just as tired as I am. Probably feel way less pressure from having the Shogun riding with me than anyone else in Japan would have. In fact, having someone there in the cockpit with me for the first battle probably made things a bit easier overall.
僕、天下が心配だよ。本当はそんなこと聞いちゃいけないんだろうけど。
Might as well tell you, we pretty much told everyone else. Makoto too, huh? Guess it really is just a Japanese person thing in the world. Even though all their lives are at risk, they're more worried about the Shogun. It's not just a result of psychological training that we underwent to combat a fear of death either. If anything, the fight or flight response is probably making them more worried about the Shogun's safety, since she's the biggest source of strength. They didn't mention it in the briefing, so this is probably supposed to be classified, but Her Highness has acute motion sickness.
タケル！それ、僕に言っちゃダメだよ。
Hey, at least you won't have to worry yourself sick thinking of worst case scenarios, right?
でも...
Besides, it makes it easier for me if you guys already know about it. And you can't unhear it at this point, so I guess that makes us partners in crime, huh?
わかったよ。それで、天下の具合は?
Well, she was getting tossed around the TSF cockpit at full speed without a fortified suit. She still never complained. She's stronger than she looks in both mind and body. I suggested we stop when I saw her getting worse, but that just made her really upset. She told me not to let any more lives go to waste.
天下...
But as far as her condition goes, she's stable. She's not doing so hot. A little rest isn't going to be enough for her full recovery. I don't know what the Major and the others are planning, but her condition's probably going to get even worse when we move out again.
僕たちも頑張らなくっちゃね。
Yeah.
タケル、ありがとう。
Thank you too. Whoa, where's this coming from?
タケルがいてくれてよかったよ。僕たちだけだったらもっと悪い状況になっていた気がする。
I don't know about that. We've done a good job of messing everything else up. If you mean that just in terms of piloting skills, I disagree. At this point, all our TSFs are...
もちろん
タケルの OS のおかげで機体の性能が上がっていたことも大きいんだけど、なんていうのかな。こんな時だから言っちゃうけど、頼りになるっていうか、訓練学校に来た時からタケルは技能も知識もすごくてさ。
Oh, we cheated. Oh, come on, don't say that. It's not fair to you guys. The only reason I'm better at this stuff is because I've gone through that once before.
覚悟や考え方も大人っていうか、まるで正規兵みたいでさ。
I mean, I technically do have 2 or 3 years more experience than you guys, but only because I've been tossed around the multiverse like a rag doll in the hands of a playful god. In the previous timeline, I was the one holding everyone else back.
なんか、そこにいてくれるだけで安心できるんだ。
Aww. I don't have that advantage anymore, though. Heck, I'm supposed to be determined to save humanity. I can't even get my own feelings worked out.
タイのみんなも、きっとそう思ってるよ。
I don't know.
なんか戦場ドラマなんかだとさ、こういう場面の後、どっちかが死んじゃうパターンが多いんだよね。
Freaking don't say that, man! Oh, dude, don't jinx us here, sheesh.
本当だ。
Ah! There's Makoto's laughing not so well. Maybe there's some benefit in me coming here after all. But I certainly didn't help ease my anxiety and frustration, so in that respect, it kind of backfired. I should be going, I think.
わかった。一目でごめんね。
I know. Make good use of the rest of your time.
殿下をお願い。
Will do.
白金タケル。
Oh no. Yeah, we'll have this conversation, then we'll be done. Huh? Ah. Second Lieutenant Camille. Must be someone else's turn to guard Her Highness.
探したぞ。休憩とはいえ、この状況でうろつき回るとは。国連軍の程度が知れるな。
Oh, don't pin that on you, man. Pin it on me. I'm a weird. Sorry. Man, it still feels really weird to be talking to her like she's my superior.
まあいい。ついてこい。急げ。殿下がお呼びだ。
Huh? Well, this'll be interesting.
殿下、白金タケルを連れてまいりました。
And we will have this conversation next time. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. And that music. Are we ready for what's coming? Are we ready for this? Because she looks remarkably happy and sound right now, which I don't think the real Shogun would look like. I really, really think this might be... I think this is going to be Maya. Pretending to be the Shogun, but she wants to have one last conversation with us before she does what she needs to do. Oh gosh, I don't like it at all. I mean, because it's almost like crystal clear to me now. What else are they gonna do? Like, what else can we do at this point? And if the number one priority is getting the Shogun out, is it really a mistake that Maya was in the squad that was right where the Shogun was going to emerge from underground? Remember what Makoto's dad said? He said he's like the squad with all these people, and I will use them to my greatest advantage. What else could it be? Why else? Why else? Maya's entire existence is for this kind of a situation, isn't it? The body double. The false flag, the sacrifice if needed. How much you want to bet they gave the Shogun the medication to knock her out? So that they could do the switch, knowing that she would object. Absolutely. Calling it now. This isn't the Shogun, this is Maya. And she's going to pretend to be the Shogun, but this is going to be our goodbye. I hate that. I really hope I'm wrong, but I'm so certain that I'm not. But we'll find out next week. when this all has a dramatic conclusion, I'm sure. Because this is so long already. But thank you so much for being here today. For the not-so-fun ride of talking to all of our squad mates and just finding out how terrible we all are doing right now. And we'll have to see what happens in the next episode and what happens with this dramatic conclusion. I don't like it at all. I really don't like where this is heading. We'll find out next time. So thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your voices. I look forward to reading your comments. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. And I look forward to sharing these emotions with you. So thank you for joining me on this adventure once again. And until the next video you watch with me, whatever you ever see me in next, I'll see you there.